Welcome, Christian.
What's up, guys? My name is Christian, and I will be talking about the reporting for the refrigeration cycle experiment. There you go. Okay, so a little bit of the background. Adam and Alan talked more about the theory side, talking about the refrigeration cycle itself and the different changes in enthalpy that it goes through in order to get your pH diagrams. But what I would talk about is the coefficient of performance, which is a rate of efficiency that is measured on a cycle, like the refrigeration cycle or the Rankine cycle or anything like that. And it's calculated by comparing the output of the condenser to the input of the power supply to the compressor. And so taking different pressure and temperature readings in a refrigeration cycle, you can find the coefficient of performance. And so the apparatus that we used was one very similar to the one shown over here. It's a computer-controlled absorption refrigeration cycle system that can be found in one of LSU's labs that goes through a normal refrigeration cycle. Utilizes a lot of temperature and pressure sensors throughout the cycle in order to take those readings that you need to make the calculations. And so the goals were to perform data reduction on the system, to find the coefficient of performance at a flow rate of 5 liters per minute, and to compare the data of different flow rates and see how their trends compare to the expected trend of a refrigeration cycle. And so for the coefficient of performance calculations, you had to change your flow rate into kilograms per second, and then using that you can calculate your output power, and then comparing that to your input power, which is found from one of the sensors on the system, you find that your coefficient of performance is around 3.4. And then when looking at the flow rate measurements that we found, you can see that when the flow rate changes, you don't really see much change in the pressure, but your temperatures at your compressor inlet, your condenser outlet, and your cooling temperature expansion valve outlet are all changing. Yeah. And then using these, you can calculate the enthalpies and compare them to the expected trends on the pH diagrams as shown right here. This is just kind of repeating the same things that I already said. With the power supply and system output power found, you can find the coefficient of performance, and then you can observe all of the same trends found in the data that you would expect. And then looking at sources of error, as Al said, the valves were very finicky, so there might have been some human errors and then some instrumentation errors. Maybe the sensors weren't picking up as accurate as they needed to be to get accurate measurements. And then computer errors and calculation errors coming from theoretical measurements and everything like that. And that's it. Any questions?